Hey everyone, welcome back. So today, we're diving straight into an explainer that's honestly going to reframe exactly how you look at our digital world. We're talking about the 2026 tech revolution. AI isn't just some sci-fi concept anymore, right? It's literally the engine driving global digital transformation today. What felt like, decades of progress has just been compressed into a couple of short years. And the landscape, it's evolved in ways that are just mind-bending.
Consider this quote for a second. In the coming seconds, you'll discover AI capable of writing code, creating full content, analyzing data, and making complex decisions. Really think about that. Just a few years ago, doing all of this autonomously seemed basically impossible. You needed highly specialized human experts. But today, it's literally just our everyday reality, quietly humming away in the background of our phones and laptops.
Now, what's super fascinating here is the paradigm shift we've gone through. Back in 2025, everybody was kind of obsessed with finding that one single best AI model. It was this intense winner-takes-all race. But the reality in 2026? It's way more like a multi-stage Olympics. We are definitely not looking for one generic, one-size-fits-all AI anymore. The whole conversation has totally shifted toward finding highly specialized champions for very specific tasks. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, specialized intelligence. Second, champions of AI. Third, creativity and programming. Fourth, data and smart education. And finally, skills of the digital future. Let's get into it.
Starting right off with Section 1, Specialized Intelligence. The rapid evolution we're seeing right now in 2026 is driven by some massive leaps in deep learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. They've really matured. And the goal? It isn't to be smart overall anymore, or to just chase a generalized top ranking. True 2026 AI success actually means achieving absolute excellence in a specific, practical function. The big players out there, Anthropic, XIA, Google, OpenAI, Alibaba, DeepSeek, they're all aggressively leaning into this. It's all about being the absolute best at one highly practical job, rather than just being an okay jack of all trades.
Because of this hyper-specialization, the traditional leaderboards have completely changed. You've probably seen the arena ELO rankings before, right? It's kind of like how chess players are rated based on matchups. Well, in the past, hitting number 1 on that board meant everything. Today, the gap between first place and 10th place is barely a few benchmark points. It's practically nothing. So the real competitive pressure has shifted. It's now entirely about cost efficiency, high reliability, and absolutely dominating niche performance domains. If a model can reliably do a highly specific job for a fraction of a cent and do it without hallucinating, that is the new gold standard.
Moving on to Section 2, Champions of AI. Okay, so think of these new models like a roster of highly trained, specialized athletes, where each one competes in their own unique event. We've got a totally new lineup now. Claude 4.6 Opus is crowned the champion coder. It's specifically built to write and debug software. Then you've got Claude Sonnet 4.6, which is your daily workhorse for those fast, everyday tasks. GPT 5.4 takes the title for being incredibly versatile with complex multimodal inputs. And Gemini 3.1 Pro? That's your reasoning powerhouse. If you need really deep, multi-step logic, you wouldn't send Claude, you'd draft Gemini. You basically just pick your champion based entirely on the specific event you need them to win for you. Now, before we see these champions in action, it really helps to understand how they actually got this good. All of these models are trained on amounts of data that are frankly hard to even wrap your head around. Imagine someone reading every single book in a massive public library, then analyzing every website, every scientific journal, and literally every line of public code ever written, all in just a few months. That massive scale is what allows them to understand these deep patterns, predict outcomes with crazy accuracy, and ultimately generate intelligent solutions. That's the engine under the hood.
Which brings us to Section 3, Generative, Creativity, and Programming.
Generative tools have completely turned the media, design, and digital production industries upside down. They can create hyper-realistic text, generate stunning images, and even produce full-on video and sound. But what this actually means on a practical level is what's truly revolutionary. A solo creator, literally just sitting at a coffee shop with a laptop, can now write, storyboard, animate, and score an entire commercial using simple, intuitive commands. You really don't need a massive studio or $1 million budget anymore. You just need the right specialized tool and a really clear prompt. And this exact same specialized power carries right over into what we call the smart programming workflow. AI tools are now guiding developers seamlessly through 3 major steps. First up, generating the initial boilerplate code instantly. Second, analyzing and debugging errors on the fly, like actually catching mistakes before the developer even hits run. And third, optimizing the application's performance so it runs perfectly smooth. It takes a grueling, multi-week coding sprint and streamlines it into something incredibly fast.
But wait, let's pause here for a second, because I want to make a really vital distinction. AI doesn't replace the programmer. Human expertise is still absolutely essential. Sure, an AI can write the code, but it still needs a visionary architect to steer the ship, to understand the actual business logic, and to know exactly what needs to be built. What AI does is multiply the programmer's ability. It's like having this untiring co-pilot that lets developers build highly complex projects in a fraction of the time it used to take.
All right, Section 4, Data and Smart Education.
Over in the business and institutional world, decision-making has gotten just ridiculously precise. These specialized AIs can process massive volumes of information to extract patterns that are quite literally invisible to the human eye. For example, it might spot a hidden correlation between a subtle shift in global weather patterns and local consumer buying habits, which then lets a retail chain optimize their supply chain weeks in advance. By catching these microtrends, AI is letting companies make hyper-accurate decisions based on real, data-backed certainty rather than just going with their gut feeling. And that exact same processing power, it's fueling the smart education revolution. We're moving away from the old, rigid, one-size-fits-all classroom model and heading toward deeply personalized experiences. A specialized AI can assess your exact current skill level, break down super complex concepts so they're perfectly clear, and then create a fully customized, adaptive learning plan just for you. This is completely democratizing high-level learning. Anyone, anywhere can develop new skills tailored specifically to their own goals, meaning you can pivot careers or master a new field way faster than ever before.
And that leads us nicely into Section 5, Skills of the Digital Future. So, zooming out from the specific tools for a minute, we really need to look at the massive philosophical and practical impact this is having on humanity as a whole. Listen to this quote. AI is not just a new technical tool, but a radical transformation in how humans deal with knowledge, creativity, and work. We aren't just installing a new software update here, we're going through a fundamental shift in human capability. We are literally renegotiating our entire partnership with technology.
Because access to these tools is basically universal now, just possessing the technology doesn't make you stand out anymore. The future belongs to the people who actually know how to use AI to create new solutions. Mastering the practical application of these specialized champions, that is hands down the single most critical skill for the digital age. It's helpful to think of yourself as the conductor of this incredible technological orchestra. The AI plays the instruments flawlessly, sure, but you are the one choosing the symphony and setting the tempo.
Which leaves us with one final and honestly pretty profound question to consider today. How will you wield these specialized AI tools to shape your role and create new solutions in the 2026 digital era? The future isn't just something happening to us, right? It's something we're actively co-creating with these tools right now. If you found this explainer valuable, definitely make sure to subscribe so you can join us as we keep exploring what's next. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.